Reina, as someone who's like a super mom, super woman.
No, there's no super moms. That's like, we got to get rid of that stereotype.
Yeah, where does that even come from, super mom? That was like the thing from the 80s, I think, or something.
I don't know where it comes from, but it really undermines a lot of the love and care that parents provide. And it creates expectations that are unrealistic. And you know, really what I say about my kids is I always want to be real with you, and then you'll be real with me.
So you have a career, you have a husband, you have the kids, you've got other things going on, you're going crazy and busy, you have so many other things, you have a life, and of course you really want to concentrate on your kids. How do you keep everything in check? And also make sure that the kids aren't feeling left behind, but also you don't feel like you're doting on them too much?
That's a great question, too. In our home, what I used to say was that we're all in this home, this family, and this life together. And we all work together to make it work. So our children had responsibilities at home. They were never tied to their allowance. Their allowance was to teach them how to spend money, to teach them that the money runs out somewhere along the line, and this is what you have, and what are you going to do with it? But we all, like I said, we all worked together, so the children had responsibilities at home. They walked the dog, they helped with dinner, they did their laundry, and I wanted them to be ready for like the rest of their life. So it does make it much easier if parents ask. That's another thing. Parents don't ask their kids to really cooperate and be responsible at home. That helps create a lot more balance so that you're not tearing your hair out because you're working or not working, either way, whatever your life has for you in store. But you're making sure that you are not the fulcrum of that entire family. That you might be the center, but everything does not depend on you. So our kids were, like I said, they cooperated, they were part of it when they were in school. School was the major responsibility, but as they got older, they worked. And when they had a car, they were responsible to put money into that and so forth. And it worked out very well. And I think, too, with families, you have to make sure, too, that you have time for yourself, because you may be a parent, but you're also a lot of other people. You know, you have a career, you have hobbies, you have charities, you have the gym. I mean, whatever makes you happy. And so if you incorporate everything else into your life other than your parenting responsibilities, you feel somewhat more balanced. And I also mentioned there that if you have a partner, a husband, spouse, I think you need to make sure that you keep that relationship going as well, because it's so easy to just let it slip and slide and you totally forget about it. And that works. That works.
Okay, so I'm going to stick with you for a real quick second, Reina. My parents actually, my mom told me this years later when I didn't understand. There were 4 kids in my family, and my mom said, I said, you know, aren't we the most important? Aren't we the most important things in your life? And my mom said, you're important, but my relationship with your father, my husband, is absolutely the most important. And I said, what do you mean? I don't understand this. And she said, because without that strength and without the focus between the love and relationship with each other, and if we just the two of us put our attention fully, just completely on the kids, we forget about the relationship that was going on between your dad and me. And how do you think about that? Because I know so many young couples and older couples who focus so much on the kids that they forget about the other spouse between work and everything else.
Well, my thought is, I was with you before the kids were around, and you know what? My goal, like I wrote on the back of my book, is my plan was to have my children leave home before they were 35. And guess what? They have. And so now they're gone, living the lives that they've chosen for themselves, and my husband and I are still here together and really having a great time, really enjoying it very much. So I think if you pay attention to, yes, like I said, the family is important and the love is there. The kids are always an integral part of our lives. There's no question about it. But they're out there living theirs. and we continue to live ours. And devoting the time and energy to that is really, really important throughout the years. Sometimes, you know, for a couple of years when they're either really small and they take like a tremendous amount of your energy, or when they're teenagers and they don't take your physical energy, but boy, they take your mental energy, that's for sure. Yeah, it's a little hard, but you still continue to make your relationship a priority. And you really, I'll tell you what I see nowadays too, I see parents put so much energy into what can I say, their expectations for their children. So there's an awful lot of helicoptering around. There's an awful lot of fear of your children slipping, falling, not the actual falling down on the ground, but falling in school, you know, kind of having some problems in school or in friendships and so forth. And I think too that you need to be able to step back so they can step forward. That's really the only way that they become confident and resilient, is to have some opportunities where maybe they don't have that much success, and then they have something to refer to later on because they know that that opportunity didn't kill them, and they will then take on another one and be able to deal with that. So I think that all really kind of works together, just to let them figure it out, figure out what they do, you know, when the fork in the road comes up, which path are they going to take? And now, just one little other point about that, almost every major university now has a staff person who deals with parent issues. True, when I wrote the book, I thought, parent issues. I'll tell you what, when I was going to college, there ain't no such thing. And the reason is that children have become so fearful of making their own decisions, and the parents have stepped in sometimes when they should sort of step back, that when they get to that age, the college age, they really are unable to make a lot of choices for themselves. And that's really not what you want. You want the kids to go out there and live it.